He appears everywhere, in the cold language of financial news, in deals that shake entire markets, in decisions where a single signature is enough to alter the fate of thousands of lives. The name Monaco Zeus repeats so often that people begin to feel he is right in front of them. Visible, powerful, impossible to ignore. But the closer you look, the stranger the void becomes. Where is his family? Who is the woman standing beside this man? How do Zeus's children live their lives? No images, no statements. Not a single private moment has ever leaked. That silence doesn't bring comfort. It creates a quiet unease, like a door sealed shut at the very heart of power. A man who controls the outside world down to the smallest detail, yet allows his inner world to completely disappear. And that is what unsettles people. Is this really coincidence or a deliberate choice? If Zeus is willing to display his power, then hiding his family must carry a far deeper meaning. Because sometimes the things most carefully protected are the very things that spark the greatest curiosity. And if you want to step deeper into the world behind that door of power, don't forget to subscribe, because what's about to be revealed goes far beyond what you can see right now. The absence of Monaco Zeus's family from the media is not an accidental gap, but the trace of a decision calculated with cold precision. In a world where power is often measured by visibility, Zeus chooses the opposite path. He appears just enough for the world to know where he stands, then disappears completely the moment the story approaches those closest to him. Not a single paparazzi photo, no rumor strong enough to spread, no private moment ever stolen. That silence does not suggest weakness. On the contrary, it commands respect, because only those in absolute control can decide what will be seen and what will never exist in the public eye. Zeus does not hide from attention. He draws a boundary around it. He understands that true power is not about how much people talk about you, but about your ability to prevent them from talking about what you do not allow. For Zeus, family is not an image to build a personal brand. It is forbidden territory, a zone where media, money, and the world's curiosity must stop. And that is what makes it truly unsettling. No one knows where they live, when they appear, or what they think about the world. Zeus dominates outside. When information is cut off completely, human imagination begins to exaggerate everything. This secrecy is also an invisible shield. While many powerful figures allow their families to become targets, Zeus does the opposite. He erases them from the public map before any threat can even take shape. This is not merely the instinct of a husband or a father, it is the mindset of a strategist. Someone accustomed to thinking several moves ahead and never allowing a weakness to surface. Here, silence is not the absence of information. It is a clear message. Some things do not belong to the outside world. But that absolute control raises a far bigger question. If Zeus's family is protected so completely, if they are separated from every gaze, then what is life really like behind that curtain? Could this secrecy be hiding a life that is simple, or something far more complex? Or is it the foundation of a world of luxury, discipline, and elite standards, one that only a very small few are ever allowed to enter? Behind that curtain of secrecy is not a life cut off from the world, but a world built on its own rules, where luxury exists alongside iron discipline. Monaco Zeus's family lives within spaces most people only dare to imagine. Private residences secured to absolute levels, movements that are never random, comforts refined to near perfection. Yet what truly commands admiration is not material value, but the astonishing degree of control governing every detail. There is no excess display, no indulgent lifestyle so often associated with powerful families. Luxury here is not loud. It is restrained, discreet, and ordered. Zeus's children grow up in an elite environment where education is not merely about knowledge, but about mindset and conduct. The institutions they attend do not simply teach how to win exams, but how to exist at the top without losing oneself. No one in the family is allowed to rely on the name Zeus as a free pass. Every standard set carries a clear message. Privilege comes with responsibility, and wealth does not grant permission to be weak. It is this strictness that creates a very particular kind of envy, not because they have more, but because they live within a system designed to keep them from losing their way. Here, money is everywhere, yet it is never the center. It is a tool that runs life, not something to be worshipped. The Zeus family may have access to the very best, but nothing is given unconditionally. Every comfort comes with a principle. Every privilege has a limit. That is what makes outsiders both admire and respect them. Because maintaining discipline within a sea of luxury requires more than power. It requires the strength to say no, even when you could say yes to everything. This control does not create emotional distance, it builds a solid structure. The Zeus family is neither spoiled by wealth nor crushed beneath it. They are protected from the chaos of the outside world, yet trained to understand that the position they occupy is never guaranteed. And that is what creates a deep sense of respect. This is not a fortunate family, but one operated like a sophisticated system, where every detail exists for a reason. But such discipline does not appear by chance. It is not born from money or present-day power. Behind the strict principles, behind the way Zeus raises his children amid luxury without letting them lose direction, there must be a deeper root, a past, an experience, values etched into his thinking long before he ever stood at the top. And to understand why Zeus chose this way of life for his family, we must return to where everything began. Behind the strict system of discipline Monaco Zeus built for his family is not the coldness of a man who knows only power, but the imprint of a past he has never allowed himself to forget. Zeus was not born into luxury. He grew up in a place where everything was scarce, where every opportunity had to be fought for, and every mistake came at a heavy price. That starting point taught him one fundamental truth. Money can change circumstances, but without family values as a foundation, it can destroy a person just as quickly. And that is why Zeus refuses to let his children grow up believing the world is inherently easy. In the Zeus household, the past is never hidden or softened. It is brought up not to dramatize it, but to remind. He wants his children to understand that what they have today is not a given, but the result of years of sacrifice, of harsh choices and moments spent standing at the edge of failure. The way he passes down those memories creates a deeply human connection. A father who does not speak of victories to be admired, but of origins, so his children never forget who they are. For Zeus, family is not a place to showcase achievements, but the only space where he allows himself to return as an ordinary man. There, money does not define a member's worth. Reputation grants no privilege. Each person is measured by their attitude toward life, by how they face responsibility, and by whether they can preserve their character when no one is watching. This is what makes outsiders not only respect Zeus as a figure of power, but view him through a different lens. The gaze reserved for someone who understands the fragile line between success and losing oneself. The phrase, "money is a tool, not a life goal," in the Zeus family is not a slogan hanging on a wall. It is something woven into every decision. Money is used to create opportunity, not to purchase ease. Success is encouraged, but never allowed to become an excuse to look down on others. Zeus wants his children to be strong, but not cold, confident, but not arrogant. And it is this balance that creates the deepest human resonance. In a ruthless world of power, he still fights to preserve what is most human in the people he loves. Perhaps that is why Zeus's family has always been protected by more layers than any other asset he owns. Not because they are fragile, but because they hold values that cannot be replaced. There, Zeus does not need to control the world. He only needs to ensure that the core principles are not eroded by time. And as his power in the outside world continues to grow, those family moments become increasingly rare and infinitely more precious. Yet that very reverence gives rise to an irresistible question. When family is the core value, when everything is kept sealed and protected without exception, what do the moments look like when Zeus allows that door to open? Even slightly. What form do those gatherings take, free of media, free of spotlights, where power steps quietly into the background? The family gatherings of Monaco Zeus never appear on social calendars. They are not designed to impress, and they certainly do not exist in front of cameras. They unfold quietly, discreetly, as if only those who truly belong know which door will open and when. That secrecy creates a peculiar feeling for outsiders. A mix of curiosity and anticipation, like standing inches away from a moment you are not allowed to see, yet cannot look away from. There's no noise of fame, no pressure to perform. Only familiar faces, within a space absolutely sealed off from the outside world. Luxury is still present, but in a very different form. Not to display wealth, but to serve privacy. Meals are prepared with care, not to overwhelm, but to give people time to sit together. Spaces are large enough to feel secure, yet close enough to feel warm. There, Zeus is no longer the name that appears in headlines of power, but the one who listens more than he speaks. That warmth is quiet, unexplained, yet unmistakable, because it is the only place where he allows himself to lower his guard. The sense of peeking behind the curtain comes from the smallest details. Conversations do not revolve around money or power, but around life itself, ordinary human stories. And when the lights fade, when the stories of power fall silent, only one truth remains undeniable. Monaco Zeus may control the world, but he truly wins only if he preserves his final fortress. And if this story has made you see power, family, or success from a different perspective, leave a comment and share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe so we can continue exploring the worlds behind doors not everyone is allowed to enter.